The camp of Vice President Leni Robredo and Senator Kiko Pangilinan are now planning to take legal action after their campaign materials on private properties were removed. Amid the Comelec's crackdown on supposedly illegal campaign materials, retired Commissioner Guanzon shows off her giant billboard, expressing support to a partyless group. Senator Ping Lacson says there's an ongoing demolition job against his presidential bid. One Cebu party endorses Mayor Sara Duterte, but not her running mate Bongbong Marcos. And several presidential candidates are set to visit various provinces in Luzon today. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. As the Commission on Elections continues its crackdown on unlawful campaign materials, even on private property, presidential candidate Leni Robredo's camp is eyeing to take legal action, calling this trespassing. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro with the details.
On Wednesday, authorities in Santiago City, Isabela, tore down election paraphernalia inside the headquarters of volunteers for presidential candidate Leni Robredo.
Grabe. Para kahit kagabi, willing naman po kami alisin namin on our own para hindi rin nasira yung material. Sakit po kasi sa puso at ambagan ng mga kabataan yan para sa bayan.
Comelec personnel explained that the campaign paraphernalia were larger than those allowed under the Comelec Resolution 10730, which limits campaign posters to 2 feet by 3 feet. On Thursday, Robredo's camp registered its protest, saying this also happened in other parts of the country like Metro Manila. Robredo's lawyers insist Comelec only has jurisdiction over election paraphernalia that are posted in public places.
The campaign posters are the properties of the owners who posted them on their private properties. Therefore, the right to use the said property is protected by the said provision of the Constitution.
Robredo spokesman Barry Gutierrez said Robredo was deeply concerned with what happened.
As a lawyer, as isang public servant na talagang mahalaga sa kanya yung exercise ng karapatan ng bawat mamamayan, lalo na nitong freedom of speech, people's campaign ito.
Two former officials of the commission also expressed their concerns that this might be interpreted as trespassing.
Kung illegal siya, di kasuhan mo ng illegal yung violation of the election code. Pero to take it down, and the process of taking it down involves, let's say, unwelcome entry sa private area, then that is, baka may problema yon.
Former Comelec Commissioner Guanzon also said on Twitter, if they enter in a private property without permission, then it is trespassing. Makalintal said supporters have the right to refuse entry to their homes.
Obviously, kung talagang ipipilit, wag lumaban. Wala ka namang magagawa, pero i-document.
Gutierrez said the camp of Robredo is considering taking legal actions against the Comelec. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
What exactly are the Comelec's rules on campaign materials? Let's get the answers in this report from mobile journalist Yada Pascual.
Posters, tarpaulins, and even billboards. Campaign materials of candidates for the 2022 elections can be seen everywhere. But Comelec reminds that there are requirements needed to be followed. Otherwise, it will be deemed illegal. Comelec Resolution 10730 sets a strict sizing requirement for printed campaign materials. For example, pamphlets, leaflets, decals, or stickers cannot exceed the size of a bond paper. Likewise, size of posters made by cloth, paper, or carton should only be 2 by 5 feet. As for streamers, allowed sizing is 3 by 8 feet in public meetings or rallies. It also has to be removed within 24 hours. Meanwhile, signboards have to be 3 feet by 8 feet only. The resolution also states that the person or group who paid for the campaign materials and the name of the candidate should be included on the print regardless if it's free or a donation. Posting of campaign materials in public and private properties with no consent are also prohibited. Why then were campaign materials inside properties of volunteers removed during the kick-off of Oplan Baklas? This caused an outcry online. Comelec clarifies size limits apply even on posters inside private properties, but people who denounce the Comelec's actions says that the Comelec resolution is not a law and that it violates the rights to freedom of speech and expression. Recall that in 2015, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the Diocese of Bacolod for putting up a tarpaulin against reproductive health law. The judges also said that Comelec has no right to regulate the expression of private citizens. To those who want to file a complaint, the poll body says you are very much free to do so. Mobile Journal Yeda Pascual, we are One News.
One election lawyer says while Comelec's Oplan Baklas may be incorrectly implemented, it is based on law and has been happening every election. Speaking to the big story, election lawyer Buco de la Cruz clarified that there are two types of election propaganda material: advocacies of private persons and promotion by the candidates themselves. De la Cruz said even if posters were oversized, as long as it's unique to a private person, then the Comelec has no jurisdiction over the material. But if the poster is similar to official campaign posters, then the materials are illegal, regardless of where they're posted.
Ang distinction ay saan galing yung pagpapahayag. Kung ito'y galing sa botante at ang pagpapahayag niya ay particular, unique sa kanya, hindi nakikita sa materialis ng mga kandidato, obvious na ito ay freedom of expression. Pero kung yung tarpaulin, kamukhang-kamukha ng tarpaulin na pinapamigay din ng kandidato, hindi nagiging legal yan dahil lang sa nilagay mo sa loob ng iyong bahay o sa loob ng iyong bakod.
Meanwhile, election lawyer Romulo Macalintal says the Comelec might have gone overboard in implementing Oplan Baklas. In an interview with 1PH, Macalintal said the Comelec's dismantling of privately made campaign materials is trampling on the people's right to free speech.
Walang sinasabi ang batas na ang isang private property ay dapat ganito lamang ang size, di ba? Sapagkat yan ay sariling free expression ng isang non-candidates. Kahit kakulapulan ko ng election paraphernalia ng isang kandidato o mga kandidatong aking nais ihalal, walang pakialam dyan ang Comelec.
With reports of campaign materials being removed on private properties, retired Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon stressed her freedom of expression by showing off her own billboard along EDSA, endorsing the P3 PWD party list. In a tweet, Guanzon shared a picture of the billboard with a caption saying, "I am not a candidate, this is my freedom of expression." In another tweet, the retired commissioner noted that the billboard is mounted on private property and not paid for by the party list that she endorses. And she added that it's not covered by the Fair Elections Act and the size 2x3 rule, citing the 2015 case of the Diocese of Bacolod versus Comelec. In 2015, the Supreme Court voted in favor of the Diocese of Bacolod in relation to tarpaulin sizes, and the case involved two tarpaulins, each with a size of 6 by 10 feet, beyond the standard size for printed materials. Senator Ping Lacson bared that there is an ongoing demolition job against him. Meanwhile, an influential party endorses Mayor Sara Duterte but not her running mate, Bongbong Marcos. Gerard de la Peña gives us a recap of yesterday's campaign trail in this report.
The Lacson-Sotto tandem is on the defensive after it received reports of a possible demolition job against their ticket. Lacson says supporters of another presidential candidate are making the plot after the aspirant felt alluded to in his Ubusin ang Magnanakaw campaign. Their camp has yet to verify the report, but says they remain undeterred.
Hindi naman kami titigil kasi I've been there, no? Na sabi ko, 2001 hanggang 2010, yan naman talagang sanay na tayo sa bakbakan ganyan, yung black propaganda. So we'll still continue with that narrative. After all, yun naman talaga yung problema ng bansa natin.
Meanwhile, over at the Uni team, they get another endorsement, but this time only for Vice Presidential bet Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. Ruling One Cebu party endorsed the presidential daughter, but made no mention if they're backing Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno likewise made his way to the north as he visited La Union. But unlike the Uni team which had multitudes of supporters in the region, the welcome for Moreno and his team was more lukewarm. But he remains hopeful that he can be an alternative for some Ilocanos.
I can be their alternative. Saka masaya na ako makakuha ng kaunting boto sa lugar na ito. Every vote, kumbaga, bawat boto mahalaga.
Over in southern Luzon, Senator Manny Pacquiao visited Montalban, Rizal. In line with his fight against corruption, Pacquiao bared that he plans on naming House Deputy Speaker Brother Eddie Villanueva as his corruption czar.
Gusto ko yun yung plano niya about sa pagsugpo ng korupsyon. Alam ko na ang lahat ng gagawin namin ay para sa Panginoon at para sa bayan.
And as for Vice President Leni Robredo, she went for arrest on Thursday and just met supporters online via a live video. She also signed a covenant with persons with disabilities, vowing to involve them in crafting policies for the sector. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
It's day 10 of the official campaign season, and some presidentiables continue to make rounds in various parts of the country to woo the hearts of more Filipinos. Senator Manny Pacquiao will remain in Rizal for today, where he is expected to attend several events, including a motorcade from Taytay to Cainta, a courtesy visit in Binangonan and Morong, and a community forum in Tanay. On the other hand, Senator Ping Lacson is scheduled to arrive at Baguio City this afternoon. Lacson will have a dialogue with MSMEs and representatives from the women's, labor, and farmer sectors in the city. And lastly, Mayor Isko Moreno will be going to Pangasinan this morning, where he'll visit Calasiao, Dagupan, Sison, Pozo Rubio, and Lawak. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.